Hi, my good people. How are you doing? I trust you're well. Welcome to another episode of Financial Fitness. And in today's topic, we are going to look at the sure baby steps to financial fitness. Why talk about financial fitness? Just like we have all these other goals, like goal to physical fitness. You want to be emotionally fit. You want to align your mindset, like your mind, you want to align it to be fit. Similarly, we also need to have financial fitness. Why talk about financial fitness? This is because money actually dominates our lives, and this could be either in a positive way or in a negative way. So the way you manage your finances, it surely affects the quality of life. It affects your future, how you will be, in the next 10 years, 15 years to come, or even next month. So today we are going to look into those few examples or tips that can help us align the way we or can speed up the journey to financial fitness. Now, on to my number one point, budgeting. Now, budgeting tops the list. Why do I talk about budgeting? Remember, if you do not manage your money is going to manage you. And you wonder how your money is going to manage you. Remember, we have the salespeople who are marketing your product, like somebody comes knocking at your office, letting you know, I have this nice handbag, I have these offers for a trip, We have all this advertisement. You have your landlord waiting for you. You want to go on that trip, You want to go hang out with your friends, So when we are talking about budgeting, this is whereby you organize your finances. Meaning, you align or you sum up all your incomes, and also all this income, every money that comes your way, you have budgeted for this money. And why are we talking about budgeting? So as to eliminate any wastages that may come your way, to avoid some unnecessary expenses that just crops up, like you assign each and every of your shilling a task, So should an expense that were not expected comes your way, you know whether to take it in if you have extra money, or you already know that your money is well budgeted for. So how do we budget? You sum up or you list down, like literally listing down all your incomes, whatever number of streams of income you have. Say, for example, you have a salary income, you have a business income, maybe you even have rental income, or any other passive income you're having, So you get the total of all your incomes, the net income. Now, after we are done getting our net income, you want to assign this money to to give them work. Like, you do not wonder where your money came in and where it left to, So you list down all your expenses, being very little, Like, for example, do you have your rent? Do you have your school fees? Do you normally pay loan? All these expenses, you want to list them down. Even if you even budget for your enjoyment, like, for example, once in a while you want to go out with your friends, or you want to take your friends out, you budget for the same. This means that anytime you receive your money, it knows where to go to. So let me say that there are many styles of budgeting, and one ought to have or pick a budgeting style that best suits you. For example, we have the 50-30 budgeting rule, and mostly with that kind of budgeting rule, maybe it works for the people earning maybe a lesser income, not with very big incomes. For example, because when we talk about somebody maybe earning even $1 million, if we talk of 50% to be their expenses, meaning 500,000, and maybe it's a small family, maybe that could be a lot of money going towards expenses, whereas this money could be used in another opportunity or another to do another thing that would be more beneficial. Now, maybe the one I can recommend, the zero-sum budget. That means the total of your incomes should equal your expenses or the things that you have assigned responsibility to your money. So that means you do not have spare money that is hanging in the air. So budget your finances, and also, who knows, maybe you are a budget away to your financial freedom. Only that you need to manage your money, you need to arrange your house in terms of finances. So have your budget, follow it to the letter so as to enjoy all the benefit that accrues to proper utilization of a budget. Manage well the resources that comes your way, so that if you are faithful with little that God allows this money to come your way, who knows, more will be entrusted to you. So you want to spend your money in a wise way, and one way of doing that is having a budget and sticking to it and utilizing it so as to make sure you get the most out of your money. Number 2 thing, pay yourself first. Now we should normalize paying ourselves first. On your payday, you need to pay yourself first before you pay the landlord, before you pay your chama, before you pay even those people whom you owe money. Normalize paying yourself first. Why do I talk about paying yourself first? This is money that you set aside after you've earned your money. The money you set aside. And this money goes towards setting up your emergency fund. This money that you set aside, you have future financial goals that you want to achieve someday. Or let me put it this way. Where do you see yourself? Maybe in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, in terms of the kind of house you'll be living in. Where do you want your children to go to school? Or what are the financial goals you have? Like, do you want to buy a piece of land? Do you want to buy your dream car? Do you want to start this business? Now, when we are talking about paying yourself first, this is money you are setting aside. You are paying yourself so as to finance these future financial goals. This means like you want to have your own business someday. How are we going to finance this business if you're not going to set aside some monies every time you receive your pay? So that's why I'm talking about paying yourself first. So on your payday, on this day when you receive that check, consider paying yourself first. Also, maybe you ask yourself, I earn this amount of money. How much is maybe the advisable amount of money to go towards your saving? If you've not been saving, it's advisable at least start from somewhere. But maybe something like 20% of your incomes, your net income, should go towards your saving, should go towards your retirement, should go towards setting up these finances that is going to go a long way to help you fulfill your future financial goals that you have set aside. So consider paying yourself first. And also another thing that really can help is by starting early. Actually my heart goes to the young people who are coming into the marketplace, those guys who are leaving college to join the workforce. The earlier you get to understand this, you receive or you get to your goals even way faster. This is because you enjoy, like saving little amounts of money for a longer duration of time, rather than staying until you're 40. That's when you start having your savings goal, So always normalize paying yourself first. This will help you achieve your goals earlier. And also, when you have such an emergency fund, when that job goes down, or you need some money to start up a business, the savings you have is your to go to account. It will help you set up a business. It will help you go clear that loan balance that you have, so that you are even able to save more to achieve your other financial goals. The other thing that we need to do, on our journey to financial fitness is being real with your expenses. Remember, we've talked about having a budget. Now, it's not just having a budget, but also we want to budget reasonably. Right? For example, you are earning 100,000. I believe it would not make financial sense to live in a house where you are paying a rent amounting to 60,000 Kenya shillings. So that means you're only left with 40% for you to live on and to save. So when we are talking about being real with your expenses, this is whereby you bring your expenses on the table, and you make sure to give your money to those things that gives you value for your money. For example, one may need to ask themselves the hard question: the kind of life I am living right now, can I afford it? Maybe I'm earning 100,000, but my total expenses for the month are amounting to 105,000. That means I'm living beyond my means. So for one to make sure they want to be in check of their finances, one ought to check their expenses, make sure that you're giving your money to those things that are giving you value. For example, you want to spend your money in a wise way, such that some 2-3 years to come, when you look the decisions you made with your finances, you can pat yourself at the back and be proud of yourself, and you avoid this feeling of guilt, like I received my salary, I went to some of these places, and this is how I spent my money, and paid by the end month, and by date 5 you've got no money. So what I'm trying to say is, be real with your expenses. Ask yourself the hard questions. Where is my money going to? You want to spend your money on those things that are giving you value. Also, maybe even another thing that could be taking your money, it's some habits which are expensive, like you check your statement. Where is most of your money going to? So you want to assess where your money is going to. And that's one of the ways how one can get to know where their money is going to. Just take your bank statement. Just take your M-Pesa statement and get to see which is the most, where is this place that most of your money goes to. Those guys that you are paying your money, what value are you getting in relation to the money you are giving out to those monies? So make sure to get value for your money. Ask yourself the hard questions, where is my money going? What value am I getting in return? Am I living within my means? So be real with your expenses. When you do a budget, be as real as possible. The other thing that we want to consider on our journey to financial fitness is debt. We cannot talk about financial fitness and leave debt out. Debt, well, it's an opportunity we have to utilize funds, somebody else's funds, to our advantage, acquire or complete that project we have now. And as we enjoy this benefit, we pay, you pay for these loans to the owner as you enjoy the benefits. Now, when we are talking in relation to debt, I may want to talk about it in 3 ways. Like, for example, somebody who's never taken debt, and somebody who is enjoying the benefits of debt, and also the third person who has drowned, in this ocean of debt. So how do one go about debt management on your way to financial fitness? For somebody who have never utilized debt, you want to be so cautious as you have chosen to walk this path of debt. Remember, debt, this is capital extended to you to use to your advantage. Now, as you are walking this path of debt, you want to be cautious, you want to be keen where you are going for this debt. Before you go to borrow, make sure to shop around for the organization or institutions which are offering the best terms. For example, we have Shyrox, we have microfinance institutions, we have banks, we have SACCOs, all these platforms, they offer different interest rates, and you want to consider going to that institution that will give you the best rate of interest. You want to go to that institution that you can be able to talk with them, whom you can go share your vision and they are able to fund it. You are giving an amount that you are able to pay each and every month. So consider going to those institutions that will give you the best rate of interest. For example, SACCOs, mostly they are the ones that offer the cheapest, interest rates. We have banks, we have microfinances and Shyrox who will take your money and come for everything that you have. So for somebody choosing to walk the path of debt, you want to be cautious where you're going to take this debt. Before you sign up for that mobile platform, you want to know how you're going to repay back that money. Anytime you want to get that loan, actually your interest should be, how am I going to repay back this money? At what interest rate, because the loan might end up being very expensive. Then we have this other person, who is already utilizing debt. You want to expand your wings, to expand your territory so that you can get all the benefits of debt. Right? For example, you can use debt to buy an asset. And as you use this, you buy this asset, you use your regular incomes, to repay back the debt. And within a specific period of time, as per your agreement with your lenders, you are done repaying the debt, you have your asset. Say, for example, you did take a loan of, say, 300,000 Kenya shillings. You bought a piece of land and you are repaying this loan maybe every month at an installment of 10,000. Within a short period like of 3 years or some time, you're done repaying the plot. You're left with the plot. You only paid 10,000 every month, and the asset which you bought at 300,000 could have appreciated maybe even at 500. So there is the aspect of capital gain. You never stretched so much, just at your comfort, you were able to buy that asset. So we want to utilize debt to our advantage. We want to utilize debt to complete our projects and enjoy the fruits as we are repaying back the debt to the owners. Another thing, we should be observant to make sure we borrow and we repay back. It's good to have a good credit history. Also, we talk about this other person. This person has a portfolio of debts, borrowed from all microfinances, from banks, from all mobile platforms, and this person, everybody is calling for their money. What happens in such a case? There is hope for you. That's what I can say. And all you need to do is to call yourself for this meeting and assess your situation by listing down all the loans that you have, together with their interest rates and their balances. When after doing this, another thing is that you should not continue to borrow more loans, but rather consider your situation, like how much is my income, versus my expenses. How much money do I have at my disposal? With the money you have, you want to communicate with your lenders and let them know that the situation you are in, but you are committed to repaying back your loans in full. And by so doing, you can start repaying, maybe starting by the smallest amount of loan. And as you do that, you are motivated to see like you clear the one after the other, and within a specific period of time, you find out that you have cleared repaying your loans. The thing is being disciplined, and with whatever motivation you have, you get to see that you have achieved your goals because you're committed to it. So after you are done repaying your loans, next time don't go borrowing like from any person who is telling you like they want to lend you money, but rather be careful. Pick on the people that lends you money, and once you borrow that money, be observant to go as per the terms, to avoid being in trouble, like repaying your installment every month without defaulting or without failing. Now, the other point is have periodical money dates. We normally have dates with our buddies, to catch up, to get to know the latest things or get updated on what is happening. But now this time round, we are talking about having periodical money dates. And what happens during the money date? During the money date, you want to ask yourself, you're walking this journey of financial fitness. So what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? Do you want to tame your spending habits? Did you want to have a saving plan where you are building up your savings? Do you want to have a budget and make sure you are implementing the same? So during the money date, you want to assess your progress. You want to see how you are doing in relation to your goal. And on the money date, you bring with you your statements. During this money date, you want to come also at the table with your bank statements, your loan statements, because you took this loan and there were those terms that you agreed between you and your lenders. You also want to check by yourself, like, are the terms being followed? Like, when I pay the loan, is it deducted? Are there any penalties or any amounts or any balances that I cannot be able to explain? So during the money date, you want to check your progress with your spending. Is there anything that you need to adjust? Like, for example, also with your savings, maybe you had a target of savings, say something like 100,000, and you are coming for this money date by the end of your third month, and every month you've been putting aside every month 5,000 Kenya shillings. Seeing that you have in your savings a total of 15,000, this is a motivation, and it shows you that it can be done. So during the money date, you are assessing your progress. During the money date, you want to see if there is anything that you need to adjust. Maybe say something like in your budget, there are some expenses that you feel maybe you gave it so much money and you may want to adjust, or some expenses you budgeted with little amount and you want to adjust that. Or even in your finances, there's some upgrade, maybe there is an increment and you also need to adjust your budget. So during the money date, you want to assess your progress, and you want to see how you're doing. By so doing, you feel motivated, you feel like you are in control of your finances. So be having money dates. I don't know how often, but definitely one ought to be having money dates where you check on yourself, the way you're relating with your money. And whatever gets checked gets done. The last point, last but not least, we want to continue learning. How do you continue to learn on this journey to financial fitness? You want to consider evaluating how you've been doing with your finances. Remember, there is no one very specific way of dealing with your finances, but rather it's like a try and error. You keep trying and adjusting until you find that way or that very strategy that best works for you. So you want to continue evaluating your progress. You want to consider adjusting here, putting more money here, and putting less where necessary. Also, you want to continue learning by looking up to the people you see them like doing well with your finances. You want to learn from them. Also, another way you may want to learn, maybe it's considering attending a financial workshop, a money management workshop, or even taking an online course, going back to class to make sure you do a lesson to master your finances, in an area where you feel you may need to upgrade your skill to be better with your money. Also, on the part of learning, you want to consider the circle of your friends, those close people who are next to you. I do not know about you, but with us girls, when we are out there, on our normal dates, we ask ourselves, like, where do you buy your things? Where do they offer the best prices? Where do they offer fresh where do we get discounts? And by so doing, we are becoming better with our finances. You want to avoid the kind of friends who are making you not do well with your finances, especially if your goal is to be financially fit. Also remember, we learn through mistakes. You try, you fail. The moment you try, the next time you're doing this, you are doing it with understanding. You are a better person trying it the second time. So thank you so much for watching, listening to me. Consider liking this video, subscribe for more, and let's share with our friends so as to become financially fit. Thank you so much.